Hi everybody! Today we're going to be briefly talking about the Shades of Magic trilogy by V.E. Schwab. So V.E. Schwab stands for Victoria Schwab, and she writes her more adult novels under the pen name V.E. Schwab. Adduction Magic is the first book in a fantasy trilogy where there are 4 different Londons. One is our London. Basically, it's the grey London without any magic. That's very dull and, you know, unoriginal. Then there's Red London, White London, and Black London, which no one ever talks about. But there are just a few people who can travel between these Londons and these worlds, and our main character is Kel. He is this kind of magician called the Antari, and basically he has more magical powers than other people, and he can travel between these worlds with blood magic. And when in Grey London there was no magic, in Kel's London, the Red London, magic is basically all there is. Everything is about magic and everyone knows magic. And even though not everyone can wield magical powers, they are part of the everyday life over there. So officially Kel is a traveler between these Londons for the crown. He is a stepbrother to the crown prince, but it's illegal to smuggle like things between these Londons. Kel does it anyway, and then he runs to this girl called Delilah Bard, and yeah, adventure ensues from that. Lila Bard is from Grey London, and she has lived an adventurous life with thievery, and she really aspires to be a pirate. And with these 2 characters, trouble ensues. So that's basically where Adduction Magic starts. So this series consists of 3 books. As you can see, they kind of get bigger as they go. After finishing this series, I just felt an enormous admiration and love for Victoria Schwab. I really admire her as an author. I love her writing. I've read most of her works by now, so I think I'm very acquainted with her writing style and her prose, and I just think she's a fantastic writer. I think she has just this sense of imagination that not everyone always has. Yeah. All in all, if I can briefly sum it up, my thoughts on this trilogy is that it's fantastic. But the thing I have to say is that I really loved Adduction Magic. That's where this series culminates for me. It was undoubtedly the best. I loved it the most. It's one of my favorite books now. These 2 didn't really feel as great, you know? I think a lot of it has to do with the sizing. I thought that Adduction Magic, while some people say it was really predictable and stuff, it didn't really bother me. It was such a fast and fantastic ride. I loved everything about it. I loved the magic system, the world building. I loved the atmosphere of the novel. Everything was new. I loved the spells and the languages they use, like one of the spells is Astravars, to travel, and I really liked that. Of course they are used in these books as well, but it just doesn't feel the same. For example, I gave this book 5 stars and these 4. So the second and third book, A Gathering of Shadows and A Conjuring of Light, were a lot longer. They had more points of views. Not really that more stuff was happening, but the characters were explored more and the relationships were explored more. I think that these books would have been better if they had been a bit shorter, but some people absolutely loved A Gathering of Shadows. I didn't think it was better than the first book, but that's just like you have opinion. For A Gathering of Shadows, I would still say that it was really enjoyable. I really liked reading it, but that's probably because of Schwab's writing. I think if the story had been written by someone else, I maybe wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. I didn't really connect with the plot that much, and and all that. And with the last installment, my initial thoughts were that I didn't think it was a perfect conclusion. It almost wrapped up too easily, if you can say that. There were too much like traveling around in this book for my taste, and too many points of views. I think this would have been better if it was cut down a few hundred pages here and there. But in conclusion, if you ask me if you should read this series, I'd highly recommend giving it a go. I think it's freaking awesome. Victoria Schwab is awesome, the series is awesome, and the characters are a blast. Even though this is fantasy, I think it's easy enough to understand for people who don't read as much fantasy. Probably not the series for everyone, because I've seen some negative reviews, but I really adore this series, and I'm just going to be reading everything Victoria Schwab writes, so that's that. Let me know what you thought of the series, I'd love to know. I'm really sad that it's now over, and like the people from Red London would say, until next time, Anosh.